Hey, what is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to Break the Chains Media. Today is Monday, September 29th, 2025. I'm your host, Corey. We are jumping right into it in the wake of the weekend's Portland Antifa scuffles and Trump deploying the National Guard to Chicago, many different places around the country. We are witnessing some would argue an authoritarian takeover from a fascist dictator. Watch out. Here it comes. Here he comes. He's coming for you. Nah. We're coming. Let's calm down, folks. Hold your horses. Everything that is happening right now is within the executive order's duties as the commander-in-chief. It is all written within the Constitution, so we are going to talk about that. We are going to address that. We are also going to talk about some, just in light of the things happening in Portland, in light of the things happening in Chicago, conversations about what's happening here in Denver and Colorado. I had to recently... strange happenings with the Colorado primary GOP conversation. And we've got actually some breaking news discussing a potential SCOTUS case that will be picked up by one of the freedom fighters here in Colorado. Aaron for Parental Rights has a SCOTUS case that will be picked up regarding trans children and the school district. So we're going to touch on that, and we are also going to just talk about the general state of crime, the general state of decay, all the things. Being aware is half the battle, but I also want to make sure you are aware of this 3I-Atlas conversation. We are going to dive into the alleged alien invasion. Are you guys ready for the alien invasion? Hands up in the chat. Let's go. Let's see if we're ready for the alien invasion, the October surprise that's supposedly on our way, on the way here. So we will talk about that. I've got an article regarding that. I also have an article regarding the Soros-backed leftist groups that are funding the government shutdown. Correction, that's a very loosely worded headline, but essentially Open Societies Foundation has been linked to and through NGOs who are backing the direct Democrats who are in opposition of the government, this whole government shutdown thing. So they're trying to actively shut down the government because essentially they're not getting what they want in this whole illegal immigrant healthcare bullshit, which, to be honest, why are we even doing that in the first place? It's happening in Colorado. It's happening in states across the country and nationally and federally. It's ridiculous. So talking about that. And then last but not least, we are going to just address the general consensus of this, this greater looming, how do we as Americans in the world, and what's happening with this global nation state, this global crisis looming in all these different countries around the world. What is our responsibility as Americans on the world stage, particularly with our relationship with Israel, with our relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu? Okay, and we're going to talk about everyone calls him Bibi. And I just think it's the stupidest goddamn nickname. First of all, we're pronouncing it wrong, folks. It shouldn't be Bibi. It should be Bye-Bye, because he should totally be completely left and discarded out of American politics. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Netanyahu. That's what we need to start saying. Bye-bye. So we need to get him out of American politics because in order to save this country, we have to look inward. We have to look at ourselves before we start projecting onto the world. Like, clean your room, as Jordan Peterson would say. Clean your room before you start telling people what to do, right? That's what we need to be doing. Hello, Lauren. Republicans have held a majority in all three branches of government for the past 8 months. If there is a government shutdown, it will be a result of Republican incompetence. I'm not arguing that point, and I see where you are coming from. However, because of the way government works, because the way the government it's all about a give and take. So the reason that the government would be getting shut down is because they can't agree on a continuing resolution because the Democrats want to fund illegal immigrant health care and the Republicans do not. So in order for the government to remain open, they have to agree on the continuing resolution. And if the continuing resolution has in it things that aren't being agreed upon by the majority of the, like you said, Republicans run all three branches. But just because they run all three branches does not necessarily mean that is why government should retain open. We have to understand the reason as the government is going to be shut down, or potentially looming shutdown, is because of the fact that they cannot agree on the continuing resolution. It's no different than the last 3 or 4 different times that they had a continuing resolution argument, okay? And we are going to get into all that. We are going to talk about all that. If you are joining Break the Chains Media for the first time, hit that thumbs up button. Join me. Live streams. We do live streams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Tyranny Response Tuesdays on Tuesday. We Are Change Wednesday on Wednesday. I am planning on doing some shorter form videos and some more digestible content pieces, whether it's about the First Amendment, whether it's about gun rights, whether it's about private property, whether it's about how to navigate yourself and your family through these crises, these trying times, or these looming political strife, this era of political strife. I will be doing shorter form content on that. If you guys want to follow any of the other channels or any of the other socials that I have, go to breakthechains.media. That is the landing page. That is the website. You can find Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Some of my older articles, I'm working on a couple different articles right now, and I will be updating my article base, and hopefully by the end of the week, you should see some new articles up there. But yeah, you can check out breakthechains.media if you want to support the channel, support my work, support what I do. A locally made, handmade, homegrown hot sauce, Realm Walker hot sauce. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. And currently I have a few different bottles you can pick up. You can pick up Vanaheim, which is the orange, habanero, and carrot. You can also pick up Muspelheim, which is one of my favorites, red super hot peppers, Trinidad Scorpions to be exact, and roasted red pepper. And then Asgard, which is currently the hottest hot sauce I have made to date. It's still not 100% dialed in recipe-wise, but it's got Carolina Reapers, Dragon's Breath, garlic, beets, and tomatoes. That is how you can support the channel here. Appreciate you. You can follow Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram, or like I said, go to breakthechains.media and click on the drop-down tab for Realm Walker Hot Sauce. But folks, we are going to jump right into it here. I'm not too sure. Like, let's start with some of this Colorado news, because I got some of the Colorado news. We met up yesterday. I met a lot of awesome people yesterday at the In Real Life meetup here in Colorado, in North Denver area, or northern Denver metro area. I would say there was definitely at least 50 people, if not more than that. Had a great conversations with some actual elected officials in office right now. They were there. Barbara Kirkmeyer was there, and some other county commissioners or vice chairs, a lot of people working in positions. So that is how we strategize and how we plan and how we mobilize these efforts against government in which is not operating for the will of the people. If you are sick and tired of a government who does not represent you and gets into these elected positions, and they don't take your voice for consideration, they don't actually follow through with the words and the things, the principles that they stand for, this is how we change the game, folks. This is how we do it. We have to get involved. We have to network. We have to find like-minded people. We have to stay vocal, stay loud, bring these difficult topics to light, bring these conversations to light. Sometimes people are, you're feeling, oh, well, I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I should talk about it. No. We have to talk about it. These are the things we have to talk about. If we don't talk about the thing, how do we ever resolve the thing? Whatever that thing might be, whether it's incompetency, whether it's the judges releasing criminals over incompetency, whether it's radical leftist Antifa, like the John Brown gun club, all that stuff, or whether it's, extremist, strategizing, mobilizing, whatever have you. But right now, you see it right here. Douglas County Sheriff, okay? Last month, this guy rolled into a grocery store in Highlands Ranch, loaded up a cart with meat, food items, paper plates, bought a green dot card for $450 cash. I don't know what a green dot card is, but and just walked out without paying for anything. Bold, illegal, and now we're out of leads. So they're turning to the internet and saying, "Do you know this man? Do you know this person? Hispanic male, average build, facial hair, rocking a CU Buffs hat, dark blue, no car seen." So there's a detective on the scene. Phone numbers here. Posted it on my social. So you definitely highly recommend, if you are aware of this character who bold-facedly just picks up a bunch of meat and walks right out the door. You know, let's be honest, folks. Sometimes that does feel like something I would like to do, just because, you know, prices are so high, inflation, nothing's really going down anymore. We're sitting here trying to live a normal life. So I understand. But folks, we don't just bold-faced, blazingly just go into a store and just steal hundreds of dollars of stuff. That's not what we do. That we don't do that. You know, if anything, we barter and trade. We negotiate our way into getting said things. If this man worked, if this man maybe did some side labor, some side hustle, maybe he could have afforded the cart full of meat and groceries he just walked out the door with. Maybe, who knows? But Douglas County, this is what's happening here, folks. Lauren, hello, appreciate you in the chat. Conservatives are expected / fantasize that all Democrats would experience some sort of deep shame because an unaffiliated voter from an NRA family who had no ties to left-wing groups unalived Kirk. You're talking about the Troon, or at least the Troon adjacent? Yeah. He definitely did have ties. And so here's the thing, Lauren, and I understand where you're trying to go with this. The fact is that this person that decided to take Charlie Kirk's life because of, well, at least that's the story. This is the alleged story, folks. And here's the thing, Lauren. Do you trust the government? Do you trust the FBI? I'm assuming that you're at least, from at least the way you're conversating right now, I'm assuming that you're at least an independent, or at least a middle of the road, possibly left-leaning, which is great. I'm glad you're here. Question I'm asking you is, do you trust the FBI and the story and the narrative that they are giving you? Are we to take that for face value when we can barely trust the FBI as it stands right now? The FBI, the credibility of the FBI was at an all-time low prior to their complete fumbling of the Epstein files. Now that they've fumbled the Epstein situation, and now they're doing such hard cover for not only Trump and this current administration, but the fact that they are just saying there's nothing there, folks, and he killed himself, and everything's, Epstein, everything that you know about the Epstein story is 100% factually true. Do you believe that? And then now follow that train of logic and say, do you believe the current story about the Charlie Kirk alleged assassin, right? I don't believe the whole gun situation, the whole the gun that they found versus the gun that they were talking about versus the Discord chat that seemed very strange and very staged, okay? And yeah, sure, he came from a conservative family, but I have known time and time again that people, once they go to college, once they get involved and wrapped up in universities and various groups of friends and networks of circles of friends, they can go from what they were as a child to an extremely paranoid, deranged, mentally unstable human. I've seen it happen in my life in real time, right? So just because he grew up or was raised in a conservative family doesn't mean that it wouldn't take a few months or a year or two to convert and unwind all of that, or at least contort his view into a perspective that is more sympathetic to a transgender ideology or transgender adjacent framing, right? This is all alleged. This is all just my own thoughts, my own 2 cents. I don't believe anything that they're saying about it. All I know right now regarding Charlie Kirk, and then we're going to move on into this current story. All I know about Charlie Kirk is that he was shot and assassinated by someone. That is the only definitive, like 100% factual statement that I can say. I don't know who. I don't know how. I don't know the network of people involved or around it. I don't know how long it was planned. I don't even know what type of caliber bullet. None of these things. I'm still very apprehensive to make judgment or to confirm anything that the FBI is saying in regards to the whole Charlie Kirk situation. And we actually do have something we're going to talk about regarding the Charlie Kirk situation in just a minute. But first, hit that thumbs up button. Join Break the Chains Media Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Tyranny Response Tuesdays. We are Change Wednesdays. And if I'm feeling like it, Thursday or Friday, we'll see what happens. But I am putting out more content, and we're making it happen. We are being the change we wish to see in the world right here, right now. Chain Gang, bring it together. Bring it home. Let's go. All right, so this is great local news that's happening right now. If you are in the state of Colorado, this is a SCOTUS case potentially being picked up by the SCOTUS Supreme Court, okay? Hoping to be picked up regarding the insane Colorado school district shoving transgender ideology into children's minds. So let's take a listen from Erin for Parental Rights. Erin Lee,
cannot stress
speaking
enough
the truth right now.
That moment when our daughter came home.
Let's start.
Cannot stress enough that moment when our daughter came home and told us what had actually happened. That these, predators, these people talking about sexuality and keeping secrets and who are you attracted to and sexual positions and just really inappropriate things. I've never felt more violated in my entire life than that moment when I learned what they had done with my daughter and intentionally kept it a secret from us. And we were shocked and caught off guard, and we tried to do everything by the book. So we tried to keep calm, and we'll call the principal tomorrow, and then we'll go to the school board, and then we'll ask for a sit down with the superintendent, and we called the police because I feel like this was sexual abuse of our child, intentionally done in secret.
Absolutely.
And it's like every door was closed. It became so clear that they were proud of what they had done. This was intentionally in secret. We weren't supposed to find out about it. We actually, public record requests showed that they called us barriers that need to be removed, that they discussed calling Child Protective Services on our family because we objected and took our daughter out of the school. And at every turn it was like shock. Like, wait, you see nothing wrong with what happened? This is horrible. This is happening to other kids and you're okay with it? Just the school district seemed to double and triple down at every turn. And in my opinion, keep us quiet, prevent us from being public like we are now about what they were doing, because they knew what was wrong.
Excellently spoken, excellently said. Thumbs up in the chat for Aaron for parents. Lee versus Pooter School District. That SCOTUS will see in the importance of this issue's validity of our case, that parental rights precedents can finally be set, and so many children and family will be protected from the government school secrecy. So much heartache and struggle and financial strain and hatred towards our family in this year's long battle. But we kept pushing. Now it all comes down to the decision of 9 people. That was posted yesterday, so they decided they pulled this information today. So let's see, maybe there's an update. I wonder if there's an update. As of 18 hours ago, nothing has been posted as from Aaron's perspective. So we will wait and see if we hear anything as far as the Supreme Court ruling in that regard. But my thoughts go out to the wishful intentions that SCOTUS does pick up this case and it does get ruled on, because this could fundamentally change how not only transgender ideology is taught in school districts, but nationwide, how government institutions should be obligated to approach and address this entire transgender issue of ideology under the age of 18, right? And this is the big thing, is that people make jokes. They make jokes about it all the time. Is that Why is it always drag queen story time at the library or at kindergartens or at elementary schools, but it's never at the elderly folks home or the community rec center or, you know, an all ages venue? It's always targeting towards the children. Why are they always targeting the children? Interesting, right? It's always strange how all of that always ends up targeting the children. No different than just, you know, transgender ideology and conversation aside. It's very interesting how radical leftist ideology is always targeting young-minded, easily moldable individuals, not just teenagers or young adults going in college or high school. I'm saying this intentionally because that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. Charlie Kirk was having conversations and discussions with young adults and having these conversations of ideas, these thoughts of ideas for young adults into that sense of logic. No. Extremist leftist ideology is targeting kindergarten, preschool, pre-K, 5 and under, or fifth grade and under. Why? To undermine the will of the parents, to undermine and to subvert the parental rights of these parents and how they raise their children. They're indoctrinating children in these school systems. So I hope that this gets picked up by SCOTUS, and I hope it sets a precedent. Let's see, what are we gonna? Since we're talking about Colorado, I'm gonna hit this, and then we're gonna jump into the comment news, and then government shutdown, and then Soros. We'll get into all that, but I want to get all the Colorado stuff out of the way, so that way we can talk about national news. All right. So yesterday there was a vote for the Colorado GOP was trying to vote regarding the opting out of primaries. Now, when you think about that, when you think about opting out of primaries, because right now, if you're not aware, if you're not living in Colorado, right now, Colorado has an open primary, which means anyone that is affiliated. So, and this is honestly kind of, when I was younger, I thought this was a very cool idea that you can be registered as an unaffiliated voter and get both ballots in the mail, a Republican ballot as well as a Democrat ballot, okay, through the mail-in ballot system here in Colorado. When I was younger, I was like, oh, that's a great idea, because that way I can see all the candidates. I can research everything that's on the table on both sides of the political spectrum, right? Brilliant. Sounds great. Sounds great on paper, just like every leftist idea. Sounds great on paper. Sure, maybe, possibly. That's a stretch. I don't know. But then you realize that, well, that dilutes the concentration of making sure that good-willed voters are going to put the best candidate forward. So right now, in a hypothetical scenario, if you were an unaffiliated voter, you get both ballots, and then you can fill out if you wanted a good Democrat, in the general, you could fill out a bunk or a phony like a bullshit version of a GOP primary ballot. So skewing the GOP primary, sending that off, while guaranteeing that your Democrat candidate would going to win the general. So that's a whole skewing game. So when you think about how an open primary and unaffiliated voters actually can fundamentally harm how our electoral or our election process works, regardless of the actual mail-in and election system entirely, because that's a whole different conversation. But I'm specifically addressing this open primary unaffiliated voter double ballot thing, and you can skew in the primary or general. You can skew in primaries to have to throw candidates to the wayside so that your candidate wins, and vice versa on both parties. It can happen all the time. So, in what I thought was happening was the GOP was opting out of that process when in fact it was not. So I want to be clear that the GOP was not voting out of that process. What was happening, and I'm going to read it from Concern for Colorado. Let's check it out here. Breakdown of what actually happened yesterday. What I was describing was what is currently established in the state right now. That's how it operates right now. Unaffiliated voters can get both ballots. They can either fill out theirs and be a good steward for in the election process, or they could be a bad actor and fill out the opponent's ballot in a skewed manner to twist the results, so that way it's guaranteeing them. But let's read from Conservative Colorado right now. There's been a lot of misinformation about what happened with our GOP over the weekend. Did Colorado Republicans opt out of the 2026 primary? The answer is no. They failed to reach the 75% yes mark. What does this mean? Initially, I thought it was that unaffiliateds could no longer vote in our primary. That's what I thought. That you would have to be registered Republican, which is a closed primary. I think closed primaries are the way that every state should operate. You should have a closed primary system. That way only registered party candidate, like only people who are registered under the party name can vote in the primary, which means you are guaranteeing that the best candidate moves forward in your party. So Republicans that are registered Republicans can only vote for Republicans. That's kind of how it should be, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I think at this point we got to pick sides. We got to stop saying, "Oh, I'm unaffiliated," or I'm an independent. All right, no. We're drawing lines, folks. We are drawing lines. If you want to cut genitals off of children, if you want to have open borders, if you want to abort babies, if you want to raise taxes, if you want to destroy cities with crime and fentanyl and drugs and homelessness and immigrants and gig economies and all this bullshit, if you want all that, get the fuck out. Go sign up as a Democrat. But if you want limited government, fiscal responsibility, Second Amendment rights, freedom of speech, protecting your independent private property, protecting your surveillance mechanism, so that way you don't have an invasion of privacy. If you want all these things, if you want to stand by the Bill of Rights, stand by the Constitution, limited government, reining the power back, jump on the conservative train. Let's go. Come on. All right, let's keep going. I initially thought that it meant that unaffiliated can no longer vote in our primary, that you have to be registered Republican. I was very wrong. What it actually meant was that no one gets a primary ballot. So what they were voting on was that no one was getting a primary ballot. You would have to be present in person at convention or assembly to have a voice. So that's even worse. To actually be physically present, it'd be insane. There are mixed feelings on this. I'm personally against the opt-out because I feel it is difficult enough to get Republicans to vote in local elections as it stands. Taking the primary ballot away would just make this more difficult and would take away the voice of many. Either way, it is possible that we will come to another vote before the October 1st deadline, which is in 2 days. Actually, today and then tomorrow. So they have to vote on it tomorrow. The deadline's tomorrow, so they got to vote on it tomorrow. Or the deadline is Wednesday. They have to vote on it tomorrow, right? I will post a link in the comments to contact a representative to allow personal to tell your stance before the deadline. Please use your voice so that the reps can continue to vote accordingly. So I agree. I feel the same way, right? I think that what we have to do is that we absolutely need to make sure that we are getting accurate and informed information. Okay, reach out to your GOP reps and vote no on the opt-out. I was misunderstanding this as well. This opt-out is not a good one. We need closed primaries, which is a different thing entirely. That is what is happening in the Colorado GOP, state-run this continuing state committee, whatever the fuck it's called. So that is that. Because we were talking about Charlie Kirk, and I did post this. This is a serious question I do want to bring up, folks. And it kind of goes without saying. Why? And let me know if you've seen other videos, but I can probably pull up a dozen other videos right now. Let me see if I can pull one up. Hold on. Let me see. Where is it? I probably have several different videos of it, honestly. Why immediately after the tragedy struck and Charlie Kirk was shot, why did they not close off the area in which he was shot and do a crime scene, like straight up like forensic breakdown of the whole area? Why was this not done? You know, that's the real question. Is why did they, or maybe they did and we just never saw it. I don't know. But the fact that right now, not but 2 weeks after Kirk was shot at Utah Valley University, not but 2 weeks. Okay, they have done reconstruction, totally rebuilt the area, cleaned everything up, laying new concrete. What the actual fuck is happening? Exactly where he was sitting, right there. Hold on, let me get the finger out of the frame. He was sitting right here. They're redoing all of, well, maybe he was in the grass, but this is the area that he was at. Just no big deal. Like it's very reminiscent of the demolishing of the Sandy Hook Elementary School. Do you remember that? Do you remember how they completely demolished and leveled the Sandy Hook area? Do you remember when 9/11? You know, granted. I mean, there's not really. I mean, like they just cleaned up the whole World Trade Tower debris and shipped all that metal off to China. Weird, right? They didn't test for nanothermite. They didn't test for explosives. They just cleaned it all up and said, "See you later, bye." You know, they didn't care, looking for, you know, whatever. You know, I just feel like there is a level of at minimum we should be questioning why they're doing this. You know, or at least asking for the on the ground crime scene report. Like, did they take pictures of the area? And the fact that let me look it up, because now I just have to pull it up. Hold on. I don't know how to look this up. Let me give me a minute here. How would I look it up? I don't know how that I would look it up. Maybe this. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, this is older, but I guess I could work. Yeah. So, I'm just trying to get stuff. Trying to see what is actually, because I don't want to put any like unquestionable information out, but right, perched camera waiting, so this is Hustle Bitch. Like, it's a 2-minute video. Yeah. All right, let's watch this. We're gonna watch this one. Okay, hold on. Right here. Now this is just something I just pulled up online, but this is the kind of question I'm talking about. Is why was everything so immediately taken down, cleaned up, reassessed, and done, and we never. Maybe we should have gotten some sort of information on crime scene, but I don't know the authenticity of this post hustle bitch guy. I just typed it in and looked it up, but this is exactly what the thought I was thinking of. before standing on the very chair Charlie Kirk was sitting in when he was assassinated, and before removing the video camera and footage from the crime scene, something strange happened. The same man climbed the wall, perched above the chaos, camera locked and ready, waiting for the stampede of innocent bystanders to flee from the shooting. He was ready before the panic ever began. How did he know to always time everything? So I'm not framing or saying anything in that regard. I am merely bringing up the fact that this is very interesting, that the crime scene, when it happened, like, it wasn't blocked off, and police didn't block the area, shut it down, and they should have at least done, like, taken photos and, like, done, like, what they put, like, 2 little pieces of paper on the roof where the alleged shooter was sitting, or was laying, allegedly, but so everyone's running out this way. Like, is that the same guy? This music is so stupid. So expensive. That is Kirk being rushed away. So there's not there. He was right there. That guy was right there. So this is that was where he was sitting. I hope it's not too loud. Sorry, everyone. Is that blowing your eardrums out? So look, I don't know if it's the same guy though. It looks like it may be the same shirt. Takes that camera down. All this stuff starts to get moved immediately. They're all just standing around. And this is the same person allegedly that Candace Owens says that she spoke with and saw the video, and this is all, I'm not unconfirmed, I don't know. This allegedly is the same person that Candace saw that video. But question remains, why was all of this stuff tampered with? Why was the whole crime scene tampered with, right? He's like literally looking around. I don't know. To me, it's just sketchy as fuck. It's just sketchy as fuck, man. So, with that being said, yeah, this is now the crime scene. They're working on the crime scene. Same music. They're remodeling the crime scene. Why was this even allowed to happen in the first place? So strange to me. You would think that there'd be some sort of ballistics information if it was shot coming down. You would think there'd be some sort of bullet marking or some sort of way to trace it back, or I don't know. Just to me, that's my 2 cents. All right. I don't know. I think we're never going to really have an answer for it. Honestly, folks, it's going to be a shame, but we're never really going to have the answers that we wish to have, right? Let's get into the real shit that's happening right now. Government shutdown, live updates as leaders make little progress at the White House. What do we know about possible government shutdowns? New updates. Let's see about the newest updates. Fetterman says he will still support the GOP bill to prevent shutdown. Listen to this. The voice of reason on the left. Give it up. Round of applause for recovering stroke John Fetterman being the voice of reason on the Democrats yet again. Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania said his mind has not changed in supporting the Republican measure that passed the House earlier this month, which would avert a shutdown by extending the government funding until November 21st. I refuse to vote to shut down our government. That's not going to change. Fetterman was the lone Democrat who joined the Senate Republicans in voting for it. GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Rand Paul joined the Democrats in voting no. Well, that Rand Paul's just, Mr. No. And, here's the thing. What is in the bill that is causing them to suspend, right? What is within the bill, okay?
For undocumented immigrants and whatnot. But given the unity inside of the Republicans on their message on this, Democrats are now scrambling to figure out how do they respond to that.
And Riley, the backdrop for this is Democratic voters and activists want the party to fight. And they see other evidence of things that discourage them or anger them. Like over the weekend, Missouri's Republican governor signed redistricting, which eliminates possibly one Democratic seat in Missouri. Democrats look at that and say, this is a partisan thing. We have to fight partisan fire with partisan fire.
And that's what's happening right now. The Democrats are fighting partisan fights right now. Schumer says that there was a possible division between GOP leaders and Trump in their conversation. Schumer said that he and Jeffries particularly raised the need to extend the Affordable Care Act's enhanced health insurance tax credits and the concern that the threat of recession and impoundments of two controversial strategies for the Trump admin to avoid spending money appropriated by Congress makes negotiations impossible. So, should I do this in a Schumer voice? When we made these arguments, it was clear that there was a division or a possible division between the president and two Republican leaders. Schumer said, Republican leaders were adamant that they do nothing on recession, and they just want to kick the healthcare problem down the road. Well, they've been kicking it down the road since March, and in fact, I made the point clear to the president and his legislative leaders, as did Leader Jeffries, that this meeting should have occurred much earlier, but it didn't. Schumer said that he relayed the president's story of a woman who told Schumer his daughter has cancer and losing her health insurance, and the president wasn't aware of millions of Americans who pay a huge increase in their health care because the ACA tax credit's expiring this year. This is all back into this health care conversation about who deserves health care and who doesn't. Well, guess what? And it goes right back into what's happening here in Colorado. Colorado Democrats and Colorado legislation, $4 billion of Colorado money pays for, say it with me, illegal immigrants' health care. Illegal immigrants that come to Colorado get Colorado paid state health care to the tune of $4 billion a year, paid for by taxpayers, paid by the taxes that are in taxes feed and levied from the people of Colorado to the illegal immigrants that live here. I think that's absolutely bullshit. We should not be spending our tax dollars on illegal immigrants. They need to go. Come back through the door, come back through the proper port of entry and apply for citizenship the proper way. I would not be able to go live in any other country and get any other benefits. I can't do it in Canada. I can't do it in France. Can't go to Brazil or Argentina or Cambodia or Australia. I can't go to any other goddamn country. Go to any other country and expect to get government-funded healthcare, government-assisted on food stamps, government-assisted housing, okay, a cell phone, jobs offering all these assistance programs that particularly America and more specifically Democrat-ran blue states. All of this happens under the umbrella of the radical left. And you know what? You know what it is? This is what it comes down to. Soros-backed leftist groups behind the campaign to force the government shutdown. It's all coming back from the funding of the upper echelons. And I hate always having to fall back on the George Soros funded cudgel. And I'm sick of saying it, but guess what? If it fucking walks and talks like a Soros funded NGO, it's damn well gonna be funded by a Soros funded NGO, folks. That is how it is. The Soros money runs deep and wide, arguably wider than the swamp in DC, because they have no borders. Open Society Foundation is funding a global revolution of leftist ideology under the umbrella of progressivism and equity and diversity and inclusion and these leftist trope talking points, right? From the Daily Caller. Soros-backed leftist group behind campaign to force the government shutdown. Left-wing activist group received millions of dollars from the Soros family organization and spearheading pressure campaign to push the Democrat senators to vote against funding the government and force a partial shutdown. Indivisible, the organization behind many of the recent, quote, No Kings protest and other demonstrations of the so-called resistance against President Donald Trump, has embarked on a recent effort to goad Senate Democrats to not come to a bipartisan funding agreement with their Republican colleagues and the president. The group's website currently hosts a form enabling people to easily contact their Democrat senators by phone, complete with a script of what to say. The group's non-tax deductible entity, Individual Project, has received a total of $7.6 million in grants from the Soros Open Society Foundation. Would you look at that? Over the past 8 years, according to Indivisible's website. Open Societies is a grant-making network which left-wing billionaire George Soros founded in 1993, and his son Alexander Soros currently chairs. Interesting. Interesting how that works, right? How weird. Federal government funds run out on September 30th, and Republicans need Democrat votes to clear the filibuster and avoid government shutdown. Individual form states Democrats have a strong hand to play. They must try to deny Donald Trump the blank check Republicans want to hand him. Says the fucking Democrats, okay? It's all partisan, no different than we were just listening to, right? The government will shut down if Congress does not pass a continuing resolution to fund it by the end of Tuesday. Senate Democrats, led by embattled Minority Leader Schumer, have far refused to report Republican-passed CRs that do not include a litany of left-wing policy proposals. That is how it works, folks. It's a tit-for-tat conversation, as always. You get this and I get that. I'll sign it if you give me. I'll agree to it if you give me the things I want. This is why our government has absolutely uttered failure. This is why our system is completely fucked, because our government does not. Everybody always has to agree. We have to meet in the middle somewhere, but it's never meeting in the middle. It always comes down to spend more money, dump more money from the taxpayers into stupid, idiotic bullshit. Whether it's funding foreign wars, whether it's funding trans surgeries, whether it's funding immigrant health care, whether it's open borders, whether it's, police crackdowns, whether it's, you name it, there's always more spending. It always ends up being, how do we spend this money? More ways to spend this money. That's what they always fucking argue about. And at some point, we just have to say no. How about you just not spend the more money? How about you just don't spend the money? Right? That's where Rand Paul, I get it. I get it. Why should the government continue to operate? Why should the government continue to operate if it's not operating for the will of the people? Why should we fight for a government who does not represent what is right for the people, for the constituents of the United States of America? Shut it down, in my opinion. These Democrats are all partisan hacks. Republicans too, folks. Okay? The House on September 19th passed a GOP-backed clean CR to fund the government through November 21st. So the House already passed. So right now it's up to the Senate, with the support of only one Democrat. However, it fell short, well short of the 60 required to pass by a filibuster in the Senate on the same day. Yeah, I don't, So, if Democrats cave to their extremist base, they will own this shutdown and put law enforcement at risk. Cut WIC. Oh, that's the Women's, Infant, and Children benefits for mothers and children, and threaten health care for seniors, the official added. Who said this? Trump was reportedly planning to meet with Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, House Speaker Mike Johnson, and Senate Majority Leader John Thune. John Thune's arguably a piece of trash. One's in the chat if you think John Thune's a little bitch. I think John Thune's just a GOP shill, little rhino succubus, just there for political clout, in my opinion. Fuck. Pretty much all of them are anyways, Pretty much all of them are. Yeah, so let's see. Do we have any...
The platform temporarily suspended Trump's account after the January 6th insurrection.
No, that's all YouTube shit. Okay. Yeah, so is there new updates? Any new updates? So that was Fetterman. Nope. Nothing new. The apparent lack of progress leaves few options for avoiding a shutdown beginning at 12 a.m. on Wednesday. The Senate plans to bring up the House bill for another vote tomorrow. So that is the as of late. That is the newest information on that. Let's see. What else are we running through? Fun little tangent. Fun little sprinkles onto this live stream. EA, the game developer. EA, or the game publisher, the game powerhouse that is EA. EA has announced it plans to be acquired for $55 billion by a consortium of investors led by public investment funds of Saudi Arabia. So, EA, they've made a litany. They've produced litanies of games. They're obviously worth billions of dollars. They've produced many different games across many different platforms over decades. Right? They are now being bought by Saudi Arabia, or public investment funds of Saudi Arabia. So I wonder what that means for the future of game development and the agenda in which this funding will shift. We'll see what happens, but there might be a interesting lean into how EA produces various games and what kind of games they do produce. Maybe they lean away from some of this, leftist LGBT, equity, transgenderist type conversations and publishing that type. Maybe they might return because it's Saudi Arabia. You see what I'm saying? A quote from EA CEO Andrew Wilson. Quote, our creative and passionate teams at EA have delivered extraordinary experiences for hundreds of millions of fans, built some of the world's most iconic IP, and created significant value of our business. This moment is a powerful recognition of their remarkable work, said Andrew Wilson, chairman and CEO of Electronic Arts. Looking ahead, we will continue to push the boundaries of entertainment, sports, and technology, unlocking new opportunities. Together with our partners, we will create transformative experiences to inspire generations to come. I am more energized than ever about the future we are building. EA does a lot for like sports games. They do a lot of football, soccer, FIFA, all these games. Asmongold saying, this is a great business move for Saudi Arabia. Fits perfectly into their strategy of consolidating and making the Middle East an entertainment and sports center. So EA makes FIFA. But see, this is where I didn't even have to look in the comments. No more trans in EA games now. See, that's how I see it, right? BioWare. Yeah, so many games that are under this EA umbrella that have published very agenda-driven games. Oh God, that's hilarious. Yeah, see, that's kind of how I see it, honestly. Yeah, The Sims. Oh yeah, The Sims. The Sims are owned by EA. So many games are owned by EA. It's gonna be a wild one. Interesting. But moving right along. Let's see. What else do we got? We are going to be wrapping up. We are landing this plane here in just a little bit, folks. But I wanted to say I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. If this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media live stream, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the follow. Join me on X. Join me on Rumble. Join me on YouTube. Join me on Instagram. Whatever you feel fit. Whatever you prefer. We do live streams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Tyranny Response Tuesdays. We Are Change Wednesdays. And if I'm feeling fresh, any other day that I might feel so inclined to sit behind the camera. So, I guess it's behind or in front of. It really just depends. Who knows? I'm so used to saying sit behind the camera because I'm usually the cameraman. But I guess right now I'm sitting in front of a camera. Whatever. You guys get it. You guys get what I'm saying. All right. We are jumping into the very interesting conversation regarding $3I-Atlas. Okay. Let's see here. What is this? Why is this? So headline, massive comet hurtling towards us is larger than previously thought. Could be alien tech, scientist says. Quote, could change everything for us. Anyone that's listening right now, if it's the first time listening, I want to know your thoughts. Do we think, one's in the chat, if you think AI or 3I-Atlas, this this gigantic, what is it, 3 Mile Island, or this Manhattan-sized interstellar object. Do you think that this is actually a comet, or do you think that this is a alien spaceship? One's in the chat if it's an alien spaceship. Let me know what you think. We're gonna need a bigger telescope. That's hilarious. That is, these guys, they just know how to write. They just know how to write their articles. Scientists have discovered that the 3I-Atlas, a Manhattan-sized interstellar object that potentially has alien tech, is much larger than previously thought. According to a new report, we'll open that in a second tab, first discovered by NASA on July 1st. The cosmic anomaly has been under watch by Harvard astrophysicist Ivo Loeb and his team as it shoots across the solar system. The object, which is believed to be a comet, reportedly has interstellar origins, making it the third ever object from its beyond the solar system ever detected after Oumuamua, which was discovered in 2017, and 2I Borisov in 2019. So there was a chart of like the size comparisons of all of these 3 interstellar objects. That's how you get the 3I. The 3 is the third, and the I is interstellar. So 3I-Atlas is the name, which is, I wonder why it's called Atlas. Maybe it's an acronym, or maybe it's just because they love playing No Man's Sky. I don't know. Now the team has gleaned some, quote, sizable new intel on the interstellar visitor, namely that the mass of 3I-Atlas, it must be bigger than 33 billion tons. How do they know this, right? Based on the size, based on the trajectory, based on the speed, you know, we're gonna open that in a different tab. They arrived at this number by calculating the object's trajectory to find that Atlas's gravitational acceleration is smaller than 49 feet per day. Smaller than 49 feet per day squared, Futurism reported. So that is the asteroid there, but I wonder what all these other things are. What are all these other things around it? This was then compared to how much mass it was shedding via gases and dust particles to determine the size. Loeb and co. found the diameter of its solid density nucleus of larger than 3.1 miles, the upper limit of current projections that are based on observations by the Hubble Space Telescope. This makes it larger than 3 to 5 times of magnitude more massive than its predecessors, Oumuamua and 2I Borisov. Loeb and is particularly fascinated by Atlas rarity, which is akin to needle in an intergalactic haystack. Given the limited reservoir of heavy elements, we should have discovered this on the order of 100,000 interstellar objects on the 0.1 kilometer scale of 1I Oumuamua before finding 3I-Atlas. Yet we only detected 2 interstellar objects previously. Thankfully, despite rocketing towards home base, Atlas poses no threat to Earth based on its current trajectory. Based on the trajectory of this art, right? So, this is just science data. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Avi Loeb. So this fine lad, the fine lad that wrote the data about so let's see here. Mean RA residuals, mean deck residuals, arc seconds. So I'm going to read this and maybe we can make sense of this data set here. Residuals in sky coordinates, right ascension is RA, and declination is DEC of 3I-Atlas relative to a gravity-based trajectory between May 15th and September 15th. Averages of uncertainties are shown for 4,000 observations from 227 observatories worldwide, which are binned in time. The residuals are consistent with the zero between May and September, given its mass loss, and the lack of non-gravitational acceleration during this period implies that 3I-Atlas is more massive than 33 billion tons, and its diameter is larger than 5 kilometers, based on these data sets. So, because of its movement, so the right ascension and the declination. So it's like how it's moving in space and how its material properties are impacting its momentum and its trajectory, right? So because of the change from March to September, they have inferred that that's how they calculated the mass. and its diameter. Lack of non-gravitational acceleration implies an anomalous massive object. And it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Loeb is particularly fascinated by Atlas rarity, which is akin to... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Thankfully, despite rocketing towards home base, I already read that. Folks, let me know what I'm reading and not reading. Okay, it's good. We're good. We're doing good. More controversially, Loeb and his team believe that the celestial passerby, which is comprised mostly of carbon dioxide, could potentially be an alien probe that was sent to conduct reconnaissance on Earth, possibly with hostile intentions. This man said it, not me. Okay? Not the guy making the conspiracy, not the guy in his basement. Yeah, well, I'm not really in my I'm in an office. I'm not in a basement, okay? And I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat. I keep my hair looking pretty fresh, looking pretty good. But I'm not the one postulating that it's an alien. This doctor is. This PhD astrophysicist doctor is proposing that it's an alien probe to send for reconnaissance on Earth. Not me. I am just reading the article that he wrote. Okay? That's the most important thing. Let's read that again. This is the most important thing of this article, folks. More controversially, Loeb and his team believe that the celestial passerby, which is comprised mostly of carbon dioxide, could potentially be an alien probe that was sent to conduct reconnaissance on Earth, possibly with hostile intentions. Okay? Rare interstellar object the size of Manhattan could be an alien probe, says the Harvard scientists. It just yeah. So this is its trajectory. It's pulling in towards, it's going to be coming inside the orbit of Jupiter and inside the orbit of Mars. It's going to, in its closest approach, it will be in between Mars and Earth. Very interesting indeed. The hypothesis in question that 3I-Atlas is a technological artifact and furthermore has active intelligence. If this is the case, then two possibilities follow. Dr. Loeb, Adam Drowell, and Adam Hibbard wrote in a paper published on July 17th, months ago. First, that its intentions are entirely benign. And second, they are malign. So there's two options. First, that it's just another rock. It's just another space rock flying through, coincidentally. However, the fact is that the shape of it is strange on its own. Okay? Let's see here. Let me see what I can find. Okay? Let me see. I'm sure I can pull up. They've got trying to find. So this is from the 8th. This is from. All right, so let's see here. I'm trying to find like not just a telescope photo, but this is its tail. Allegedly, it's growing its tail, so it very well could be off-gassing because they claiming that it is the comet that it is. Yeah. So new clues about comet 3I-Atlas revealed an older image. It's interesting. It's interesting that they still call it a comet. But I wanted to see the size comparison. Size comparison to other interstellar objects. That's what I really wanted to see. Let me find it here. Size comparison. Looking. I am looking. Yeah, let's check this out. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. In comparison to the other, I want to find it. All right, so in its size, the size of 3I-Atlas becomes even more remarkable when compared to our previous interstellar guests. 3I-Atlas is at least 5 kilometers in diameter, possibly up to 5.6 kilometers. It's almost 3 miles wide. That's almost 3 miles diameter. Borisov is only a kilometer, and Oumuamua was about the size of a football field. Okay, it could be a little bit larger than a football field. It's football size stadium size. Okay. 3I-Atlas is 10 times larger than Borisov and 25 times larger than Oumuamua. It's very strange that these three objects, one after another, have gotten increasingly larger and larger and larger. From Oumuamua to Borisov to now Atlas, each one has been increasingly larger and larger. Okay? I wanted to see a picture of it, though, honestly. Do I have images? Where is it? I wanted to compare it to the other ones. Come on, I've seen the picture before. Where the fuck is it? No. Like, that's what they're saying. It's elongated. They're saying it's a very oblong shape. I don't even know how to fucking spell Oumuamua. See, so a lot of people are thinking it's an actual ship. Well, that's Oumuamua, but I mean, like, who knows? I mean, is it rotating end over end? I don't know. What are your thoughts on it, folks? Is it just a very elongated shaped rock? What are the odds? And if it is an elongated comet, as they're illustrating, like, I've seen the picture before. I don't know why it's not pulling it up. Like, is this an article? Is this an article that I can, like, look at? Where is it? Hold, please. Hello, Melindy. Howdy. We'll listen to the replay. Bummed to miss you. Yes. Hey, Den Mother. Thank you for jumping in. Appreciate you. So I've been trying to basically nail down a time that works best for my live streams. I was doing later in the evening, like 9 to 10 o'clock live streams, but I feel like a good time for me to do it is in the middle of the day, sometime, between 1 and 4 p.m. I feel like this is a good time for me to, like, get it done and recorded, and people can actually watch the replay and check it all out. But I did speak in regards to some GOP information, Colorado GOP stuff. I did speak on some Colorado laws and legislation earlier in the stream. But I appreciate you jumping in, Melindy. And if you wanted to, obviously, thumbs up this, share this, follow the channel here on Rumble, or, I'm also on X as well. This is just what I do. I just yell at people on the internet, no different than anyone else. But I give it a little bit more spice, a little bit more flair, a little bit more variety, a little bit more. So, like, I like to think of my channel as a blend between Shane Cashman's, Inverted World Live, where I can talk about some weirder stuff, and then also keeping grounded in politics and national news, international news. Speaking of international news, let's talk about fucking, we're gonna, regards, wrapping up this Oumuamua conversation, folks. Because I do want to round this stream out talking about Bibi, but I prefer to call it bye-bye. I want to wrap up with this this Atlas. I believe that it is interesting and it is strange to think that that we are dealing with a third interstellar object, the largest of the three, and the shape is irregular, the speed is irregular, the chemical composition of it is irregular. So all these are sending signals off. So folks, make sure you get your alien hunting permit registered with the Department of Wildlife, with your local affiliates here, whatever state you're in. Make sure that you can shoot down any foreign and alien invasion, alien probe. If we do get invaded, make sure that you are covered and you make sure you have your hunting season tags for an alien invasion, because if this comes through at the end of October, November, it's going to be open season on the alien invaders. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be Independence Day here in America and across the world, depending on if it actually is a alien threat. But we are going to wrap up with the conversation regarding a 3I-Atlas. I wanted to talk specifically about this swizzle stick shit fuck that joined Donald Trump today at the White House. Of course, for the 7th time, the 10th time, fucking Netanyahu shows up at the White House. Melindy, what do we got here? They need a coalition build now before names go on ballots. Yes, agreed. There's way too many candidates for governor, and I spoke to Barbara Kirkmeyer yesterday. Actually, very quickly, since you're here, Melindy, I appreciate you being here. I'm gonna scroll down really quick. This is what the event was. The event yesterday. Over 100 of us got together here in the North Jeffco Metro, Denver Metro area, meeting, collaborating, communicating, conversating. Barbara Kirkmeyer was there. She's running for governor. 16 different people are running for governor in Colorado. It's ridiculous. But I understand why there's so many different people running. I just think it's so fucking stupid that they can't just work together. They can't funnel all their funds together to then combat in the realm of ideas and make the best idea. Just decide on someone. Just pick a person and say, we're going to pick you to run against the Dems, and we're going to throw all of our money at it and go. Having over a dozen different people running, you can have the conversation, the multi-platform ideas for the people to decide. So I understand. It's just very annoying because there's so many different people in the governor's race right now. Have you checked out Salida Gun Shop, fellas? They had a superb interview with Jason Mikesell. No, I have not, but I do know the name Mikesell. I will check that out. Big Timber Lodge. Do you know Big Timber Lodge? Do you know Free State, Colorado? You know Brandon Wark? All of these people are people that I network with here in the area. I'm kind of like the central hub guy. I'm kind of in the Denver Metro, North Jeffco area. I can always bounce into Denver, can talk to, out west. I can go all around. But Brandon's up north in Greeley. I think Brandon Wark's running for, I think it's Ward 2 for city council in Weld County. And then, you also have Big Timber Lodge. I think he is down south, I believe. But he does this kind of same shit that I do. Yeah, excellent. Glad that you follow them. We're all in connection. We all get it, but I am a fellow Timcast affiliate, subscriber, supporter of the Timcast crew. So I try to bounce between there. So I think I'm the youngest one out of everyone that we listed too. So I've got a lot more. I got a lot more fight in me. Got a lot more spirit in me. Got a lot more drive in me. the testosterone levels are not quite as low as the older men, but I make jokes. It's fine. But yeah, so we are networking. We are getting involved. And I want to see people in Colorado coalesce around a real platform of ideas, a real understandable conversation that can be had, because we are being taken over overtly by these leftists, by these Democrats, by these Democrat socialists of America, like Lorena Garcia, like Yara Zokai, like Jarvis, Jarvis Caldwell's legendary. He's the GOP minority leader. I always mix up Jarvis and Javier. Javier Mabry, that little swizzle stick fuckwad, that guy, and Lorena Garcia and Senadora Gonzalez in the House in the Colorado State Senate. So many evil, disgusting people that are in our legislature. I'm sick and tired of it. And hopefully we can see some good candidates get on the primary ballot. Hopefully we can see a fundamental change and get some of these scummy leftists out of Colorado politics, and maybe even flip some states. Yes, or flip some seats in the state. Liberty Logic I follow as well. Liberty Logic and I, yeah, we're gonna. So we got some work. We got some things in the pipe that we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna be cross streaming with Big Timber Lodge. Hopefully get some cross time streaming with Liberty Logic. We all are doing our own thing, but this is good, right? We are all coming at this. We are all attacking and chomping away at this communist takeover that's happening in Colorado, and I'm here for it. I love the energy and I love being involved with it. So that's why I continue to do my. I mean, I've been doing this for so long. Thing is that like I'm just now getting into a really solid stride of putting out work and putting out regular material, putting out regular content. I used to be so wishy-washy and irregular with my uploads and with my content creating that it was hard to keep a fan base and hard to keep movement going. But keeping to a schedule and keeping content moving and keeping it in the regular zeitgeist is showing. I am getting some traction now, so it is good. But let's jump into why I am a firm believer that we are pronouncing Netanyahu's nickname, Benjamin Netanyahu's nickname, incorrectly. So let's get into that. So this is like the 10th time that Netanyahu showed up to, come check in on Greater Israel, or West Israel, as Israelis do call America. Israelis do call America West Israel.
Plan? Is everyone on board?
Will we have a deal today, Mr. President?
Mr. Prime Minister, have you agreed to the deal?
Mr. Prime Minister needs to shut his goddamn mouth. He didn't pat him on the back. Yeah. So I'm gonna play Elijah Schaffer, but I'm gonna preface it with some of these other videos. But Elijah Schaffer really fucking nails it, really hammers it home. But I posted this. When we use Benjamin Netanyahu's nickname, remember it's not Bibi, it's bye-bye. Honestly, Israel, get all the way out of America and American politics. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's how I see it. I am sick and tired of continuing to play this narrative, to play this game of the greatest ally in the Middle East, and we always have to defend Israel, and Israel's our best friend. And no. If we can't even focus on righting America's ship, like America is just full steam ahead into objective chaos and destruction. It is all planned by design, but let's be fucking real, folks. If we can't focus on the immediate problem that we're facing right now in America, the social decline, the population decline, the housing market, the jobs market, the immigration, okay, fiscal responsibility, trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. If we can't get any of this stuff right in America, why and what the fuck are we doing continuing to fund and operate in another country 7,000 miles away on the other side of the planet, because they're our greatest ally. When they themselves want to see America, they're calling for various aspects of American culture to end. I am sick of it. Ghost of BPH. I will check that out, Melindy. Thank you for that. Highly recommend. I will check that out after this. But yes, when we use Netanyahu's nickname, remember it's not Bibi. It's bye-bye. Honestly, Israel, get all the way out of America and American politics. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then, bye, bye, bye. I'm never going to sing that again, just so you know. Never going to sing that. But yeah, let's listen to Elijah Schaffer after. Like, look, Owen Schroyer post this. This was posted from, it's posted in Hebrew, but another terror tower collapses in Gaza and joins the hundreds that collapsed before it. Do you guys know that Israel is claiming that Hamas rigs buildings in Gaza with explosives because Hamas is rigging these bombs. Hamas is rigging these explosives in these buildings to destroy and level Gaza. That's what they're saying right now, folks. I don't believe it at all. Zero mercy for the evildoers. Absolutely agree. Owen Schroyer says, it looks an awful lot like, never mind. We know what he's talking about, right? We know what he's talking about. The Sinwar brothers destroyed Gaza, and their successors is devastating it until all the hostages are released and Hamas disarms. That, to me, sounds like a big crock of shit, okay? Why does Bye-Bye always got to drop a hot take against the people of America? Okay? Let's take a listen to Elijah Schaffer here, okay?
Benjamin Netanyahu, he's the Prime Minister of Israel, and he just declared war on sovereign U.S. citizens verbally in front of cameras and said that he's going on an eighth front war against people that think like me, people that think like you. He's going to war against Americans. Now, don't consider me shocked that our government doesn't care about the hypocrisy here.
Right.
But when a foreign leader declares war, says he's going to war with the woke Reich or America First Patriots, he's going to fight us, try to get rid of us, I take that as a threat of violence. I take it as a threat to my sovereignty, to my safety. And I want to let you know that I take that seriously. So Israel has declared war on American patriots, okay? So take that into your mind here for a second.
Don't want to keep
so now we are
their
at war. So next time someone accuses you of being an anti-Semite or, anti-Jewish or, Israel first or whatever the stupid bullshit they do to cope with the fact that they can't accept that Israel occupies our government because they don't want to lose their paychecks. Remember, the Prime Minister of Israel just declared war on you, okay? My answer to that is, fuck you, you stupid bitch. Fuck you. Challenge accepted.
Let's
go. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. You're Jewish fucking influencers. Emily Austin, these people that you bought out.
That is interesting how it all falls down this way, money. Right?
They hate America. They hate our founders. My family founded the United States of America, okay? With millions of others
the
who have established and built up
America
a generational empire that is...
Listen, America first means America only. In my opinion, that's what it means. Let me know what you think in the chat, because I do not support any wars. I do not support any foreign funding of any foreign country ever at all. End of story. Doesn't matter. If we can't, in the words of Jordan Peterson, you need to clean your room before you can tell others what to do. Okay? You need to clean your room first. America needs to get its affairs in order before we decide to go play democratizing and building casinos on the Gaza Strip. Okay? Before we start doing all this other dumb shit in other country nation building, before we do anything else, the first thing we need to do is get our own shit in order here in America. Thank you. I freezed Elijah in the most hilarious screen grab ever. Look at that. Oh my God. Talk about giving an O face. Holy shit.
Our inheritance. And these Jewish Israeli bastards have come in and they've.
So to be fair, and like, obviously this is Elijah's take, and I'm just kind of riffing off it and commenting off of Elijah, but it's not an ethnic demographic, it's not a racial demographic, it's not a religious demographic. It is arguably the Zionists who want to build the greater Israel project, who want to destroy, who want to ethnically cleanse Gaza, who want to destroy and attack Iran, the secular Israeli state, and the Zionists who operate within it want to promote a greater Israel. They're using this. They're discussing the third heifer. Conversations regarding the third heifer. Y'all know about the third heifer, the burning of the third heifer. The burning of the red heifer. Excuse me. The red heifer will bring about the rebuilding of the third temple. I got it all mixed up, but you know what I was saying, right? This is the problem that we're struggling to address fundamentally. I think Elijah is right in his frustration, but I think he is, in my opinion, using the wrong vernacular language and should be a little bit more specific on understanding it is not like umbrella term the Jews. It is not the Jews, right? It never is any one whole group, right? To think in absolutes, right? Only a Sith deals in absolutes, right? So there is nuance to the whole conversation of, like, you know, it's not all white people, it's not all black people, it's not all police, right? Not all Democrats. Arguably, there's a lot of the leftists, you know, a lot of them, but not all of them, right? It's never the umbrella. It's never all. We cannot target the absolute entire demographic of a populace, right? That's not healthy. That's not good. That's not effective for conversations forward in what arguably is, and I'm going to coin it, it's the post-Kirk America. I keep saying it. We are in a post-Kirk America. We have fundamentally shifted into a different era. It's similar to, like, it's not quite a Renaissance. It's not quite a crusade. It's not quite McCarthyism. I don't really know how to describe it, and I'm still. It's a working thought in my head right now. I will get into it, but it's a blend between Renaissance, Christian Crusades, Knights Templar era, and ousting, you know, McCarthy, ousting open communists in our government, McCarthyism 2.0, this weird energy. I don't really know, but all I know is the era I'm calling is the post-Kirk America. That is where we are right now, post-Kirk America. But we have to understand that we cannot use umbrella terms by just exclaiming, it's these people, it's that problem, and if we just did this, all the issues would go away. But let's keep listening to Elijah Schaffer, because he is passionate, he is fired up, and rightfully so. Let's keep listening.
Bought people out, they've blackmailed the ones they couldn't buy out, and they'll shoot and kill the ones that they can't control. Remember that. There are things that we know that we can't say publicly due to legal threats, but they will kill you if they cannot control you. And challenge accepted, bitch. And I'm like a lot of people in this world are getting sick and tired of having to tiptoe around this issue. We're calling this issue globalists and Frankists, international cabal, bankers, corporatism, greed, corruption, when it's literally just powerful Zionists and Zionist Jews that are literally fucking with the world, taking control of our benevolence, and ruining our nations.
Using America as the bulwark, using America as the wrecking ball in this global world, right? In my honest opinion, post 16-year plan since 2015. Are you saying are you discussing like like Obama, like what? I guess my question to you, Melindy, is what is the delineation line? What is the Maginot line? What is this line that you're addressing? Like, what shifted? What makes you think in that era, post past 16-year plan since 2015? The silent majority was stirred in 2015. Are you just talking about like the election, like the first Trump election, the first Trump term, or post Obama? I guess I'm looking at it as a there was this energy in this timeline, and then something pivotal happened, and now we are in a new energy era shift, a new mindset, collective conversation, expansion, this era, like something has to happen. What was it? Arguably, I thought a big thing was COVID. Like there was a post-COVID era, right? And this awakening that happened post-COVID. And then there was this awakening post-9/11, right? These are all things that awakened and restructured how people thought about the process of government, the importance of government, what government is meant to do for us. And once these things happened, once these things took place, people either doubled down in their beliefs or began questioning authority and began questioning narratives and began connecting dots and making, and using their higher functioning brain capacity to determine, to find truth in the world, right? COVID era was the, quote, greatest education ever, said one of my favorite follows. Yeah, no, I think, and dude, the whole time during COVID, who you were during COVID is exactly who you are in real life. What you decided to do and how you decided to act in COVID is who you are always. And who you will remember, who you will always be. And some people still to this day walk around with those goddamn fucking face diapers on their fucking mouths. Or walking like this, still scared of the goddamn air they breathe. They're fucking lost. They're broken. They are shit. Like, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not. What do you got to say, Gandalf? What do you got to say?
You shall not pass.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, Gandalf. I appreciate you. He always has the most intelligent takes, But this is it. Post-Kirk America. Questioning, and this is the real meat and potatoes of it. And I opened my stream with this, and I'm going to be wrapping up here. I'm going to be ending my stream here in just a few minutes. But when we sit down mentally and think about all the times and all the things that they've said to us in our recent recollected history, how far back do you want to go in recorded American history? Was the government telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Was the government being honest about 9/11? Was the government honest about weapons of mass destruction? Was the government honest about the Waco bombing? Or the Waco, attacks? Was the government honest about the Oklahoma City bombing? Was the government honest about the war in Vietnam? Was the government honest about COVID? Was the government honest about any of this? Government honest about JFK? How many different examples do I have to show to people to say, why are we trusting anything that they're saying now about Charlie Kirk? And the only thing that I stand by when it comes to Charlie Kirk's assassination was that he was shot by a bullet in cold blood and murdered in front of thousands of people in real life and millions of people across the world for all to see in this weird, strange, occultic practice of martyrdom and sacrifice and humiliation ritual, arguably, of the man who chose to speak words to power, the man who chose to have a debate, was shot in the neck, almost at the throat. And I do think that it probably was a missed shot, whoever shot it. But the symbolism behind that, the man willing to speak and debate and use the First Amendment, was shot in the throat to silence his voice. Like when you put it together like that, it really fucks with your head sometimes, man. Was the government honest about the war between the states? You talking about the Civil War? You talking about the war of Southern aggression? The war of Southern aggression, is that what you're talking about? But absolutely, you know, what was the government even honest when it came to the Japanese internment camps, you know, post World War II? Was the government honest about what really happened during World War II and who was really bad? That's a whole nother conversation. Yes, you're right. The War of Northern Aggression. Excuse me. Sorry. But you know what I was saying. But history is written by the victors, right? History is written by the victors. And those who are alive to tell it will tell the narrative as they want to see it. Right? So we have to be aware about narratives and about agendas and about, you know, how these countries and how different motives and what is the means to the end, and how countries think in not 1 year timelines, not 4 year timelines, not even 10-year timelines, but some countries think in multi-generational timelines. Okay? Fun fact. Did you know that the Bolsheviks in Russia, when they had their revolution in Russia, the Bolsheviks stirred the revolution against the Russian oligarchs to seize power. Who were the Bolsheviks? Do you know who the Bolsheviks were? Well, they were ethnically Jewish, and they took over and they destroyed, they killed the Russian oligarchs, and they installed their own regime, and they began this narrative, arguably, and this is what I was trying to explain to one of my friends, was that the concept of a Zionist Jew spawned before the nation state of Israel even existed. They were having Zionist congregations and Zionist meetings in the late 1800s, before World War II even was a twinkling of an eye in terms of world history. Okay, so this thought process, these people in control, these globalists, as I prefer to call them, because I think globalists are as an all-encompassing term of a multiple, multiracial, multi-background. It's a very, ironically, it's a very progressive way to describe the cabal of evil people trying to take over the world. Globalists encompass a diverse cast of individuals. Globalism is a very diversity forward language. Here's the Mike Silver interview with the Salada Gun Shop guys. I will check it out. Thank you, Melindy. But let's round out what Elijah was saying here.
Look at Islam, for instance. Oh, well, Islam is a threat to the West, you know? Yeah, it is. It's a huge threat, actually, especially in Europe. Islam is a huge problem. But why are there low IQ Muslims all across the West? It's because there is a multi-front war been waging for over 2 decades by the United States and NATO, which is also the United States, to fight Israel's wars for them, displacing poor, uneducated Muslims, and then Israel lobbies our governments for us to take them into our country, to bring them into our land.
That's how the internet works, right?
And so,
that's how
even Islam is these people's fault. Okay, even the problem with Islam.
For what it's worth, Manasseh, is good time in between them. Yeah,
I'm
just
going to say this.
I appreciate that.
I accept the warfare.
That's why I was.
And the question for you is: are you going to accept the warfare? They declared war on you. Now you're going to sit back like a little bitch and try to not get offended, not want to get fired, not want to lose your contracts. You know, oh, I'm getting pressure from powerful Jewish people. Okay. We're at war. And I just want to let you know that the war was declared yesterday. So when did the war against Israel start for patriots like myself? It started when Netanyahu declared it against us, echoing the language of Konstantin Kisin, James Lindsay, and other anti-West, anti-American, sellout traitors who hate us and hate God, and they hate what we stand for. And you got to get ready. Be prepared for what's coming. If you like these ideas, if you agree with this, if you're finding this for the first time, hit a follow button. Watch my show. I got a show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Rumble and on YouTube and X. It's called The Rift.
Yes.
You go read articles from our website.
I just got that.
riftTV.com. Out 7 days a week.
Thank you, Elijah, for that. Appreciate you. But yes, I agree with all of this language. In general, I agree with the language. There, like I said, there's umbrella terms like globalist or like even calling them Zionists. It's not just only them. There's a multi-layered way to go about this. And I actually want to finish up with one thing. Because okay. Because he is such a smart, intelligent person, and I do appreciate everything he does for the Free Thought Project, okay? His conversations on everything, okay? He did pin this. Excellent. Because this is a good conversation to be had, and it's a great way to wrap this up because I commented on this as well, and I think a lot of people kind of see the same thing. I had a rag on E about his car getting stolen. Well, don't drive. Yeah, right. I drive a one-of-a-kind car, but it's definitely not expensive. I mean, it's expensive to me because I've done work to it, but it's not like a fucking Bentley, So yeah, let's wrap up with this, and then we're gonna send it off to Quiet Part Pod. Jason Bassler posts, what MAGA thinks the threat to America is? Antifa, MS-13, immigrants, radical left, drag queens, George Soros, woke college kids. What the real threat to America is. AIPAC, Palantir, Digital IDs, BlackRock, Peter Thiel, technocrats, and flock surveillance. Okay? Both of these things can be true at the same time. Okay? So a lot of people think we actually believe both of these lists are the problem. Yes, I'm 100%. I think this entire list is a very serious threat to America. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Christians are a threat as well. People who just say live and let live and peace and I pray for you. No. Swords out. Like, honestly, remember the chick, the Scottish chick that was just standing there with a fucking axe and a knife saying fuck you? That's the energy we need all the fucking time. Braveheart these bitches out of America. Let's fucking go. Come on. Okay? And someone made a great point to this list. The top list is being funded by the bottom. The means are on the top and the ends are on the bottom. Okay? So many people think the same way. Joe Biggs says it's all the same. Okay? And all of these are spending money in America as well. Okay? It's not just AIPAC. There's so many people. See, look, the means are on the top and the ends are on the bottom. Like, this makes brilliant sense. Like, I'm right there with it. Like there is, the top is funded by the bottom. This is, or NGOs. I think NGOs are, this is a thing that not very many people talk. The fact that non-government organizations, not-for-profit organizations, okay, non-for-profits and NGOs funnel all this shit and get evil Marxists elected to positions of power. But I could keep ranting. I could seriously keep going for like another fucking 45 minutes. I just can't do that right now. But if you enjoy this kind of conversation, if you enjoy this kind of chat, hit the thumbs up button. share this video with all your friends and family. We do live streams on Break the Chains Media Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tyranny Response Tuesdays on Tuesdays. We Are Change Wednesdays. And then if I'm feeling spry, if I'm feeling right, I might throw another video in there once in a while. But I am going to be... Wow, hold on. Let me find the right one. What was I going to say? I'm going to be doing a little bit more short form videos, a little bit like I will still be doing the live streams, but I am going to be focusing a lot more on trying to just get digestible 5 to 15 minute videos out, so you can share those as well, and then just trying to just trying to thumb through an hour and a half live stream, you know. So I'm going to be jumping into, we are going to be rating the Quiet Part Pod here in just a minute. But I appreciate Melindy in the chat. I appreciate everyone joining the chat here. I appreciate everyone supporting Break the Chains Media. If you do wish to find the landing page, it is breakthechains.media. That is the website. All of the social here: Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Some of my older articles, I'm going to be pushing out a lot newer articles. I got about 6 in the works right now. I know I should be kind of peppering them in rather than just dumping them, but I am in the works of getting them all written. It's just so many different things are happening all at once here. You know how the world is. If you want to support the channel, Realm Walker Hot Sauce, travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce, handmade, homegrown hot sauce here in the Mile High City here in Colorado. I currently have Vanaheim, orange habanero, Muspelheim, red super hot pepper, roasted red pepper, and my hottest one yet, still working on nailing down the recipe, but they're all delicious. Asgard, Carolina Reaper, Dragon's Breath, garlic, beets, and tomato. So if you want to support the channel, you can find Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram or reach out to Break the Chains Media on all platforms. You can reach out and talk to me there. Folks, I appreciate you joining this live stream here at Break the Chains Media. We are going over to the Quiet Part Pod. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all. We will continue the fight for Colorado. We'll continue the fight for freedom. We will make sure that we are holding our elected officials accountable. We are America first and America only. That's what that means. Say no more Bibi. It's bye-bye to Bibi. That's how we do it here in America, because we don't care about anyone else but getting our shit figured out in America first, taking care of our own first, cleaning your own damn room, stopping the foreign wars, stopping the foreign funding, stopping the foreign influencers. Get them out of the house. Bye-bye. Appreciate you all for hanging out. I love you. I appreciate you. And as always, fight for freedom. Never give up. We'll see you next time.